Welcome back. You're watching 101. We're speaking with Hollywood star and actor Deep Roy. What was the turning point for you then? Okay, it was tough initially. You were starting out with the comedy, the stand-up comedy, and a few bits and pieces, the commercials. At what point did you realize that you were onto something bigger?
When I worked with Tim Burton. What an amazing, amazing director. Amazing person to work. Done 4 movies with him. The turning point was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Where there was lots of you, actually.
Yes, there was lots of me, which I did individually myself. I did 165 individually myself. And that was a turning point.
After you played the Oompa Loompa, and that, did you actually find that people were coming to you now and saying, listen, we've got more for you?
Yes, you know, I mean, once I done Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I haven't done, you know, that was the biggest movie that I've done. But previously I've done other movies like Roots of Evil, which is Tim's, another one of his favorite movies, where I played a drug lord, a mafia boss who had a muscle power and who calls upon his muscle power to go and take care of other people, you know, and that was the one that I did a long time ago. Charlie was the hardest movie I've ever done.
You had to learn a lot of different skills for that movie, for playing all those parts, didn't you?
Yes, I did actually. You know, the one was dancing. You know, because when I first met the choreographer, and she said, okay, we're going to rehearse. I said, sure. And she went 5, 6, 7. I stood just like a lump of coal there. She said, you're supposed to move. I said, I thought you were going to say action. She said, no, we don't do this. Is dancers count. And she goes 5, 6, 7. I stood there, you know. But then again, 3 or 4 times I learned that, you know. At least I learned the dancers count 5, 6, 7, and you go.
You had an amazing presence in that movie. I mean, you pretty much dominated it with the rows of you doing different things. You were, I think, playing musical instruments and dancing and everything else.
Yes, I had to learn because musically I'm not inclined. I had to learn to play drums, to play keyboards, to play guitar. So at least it looks good on the screen that I know what I'm doing. So I had to do all that, and plus singing lessons, you know, because I'm a terrible singer. Honestly, I am.
But at least you got the skills out of that movie.
I did, actually. You know, at least, you know, got skills out of that. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
What was the worst movie you ever had to do?
I don't think so. I've done the worst. Everything has been, you know, everything has been good, you know, and that's how I look at it. Work is work, you know, that's how you look at it, you know. So.
In terms of the celebrities you've acted with as well, the others in Hollywood that you've had to work with, who did you have the strongest relationships with? I know it's always difficult to pick people, but were there people who really stuck in your mind?
Johnny Depp. What an amazing person. Down to earth, tremendously talented. Not only that, good looking too. And that guy is amazing person. He is.
And in terms of mentors, who did you always look up to? Who helped you in your career?
Who helped me in my career? Tough one. Who helped me in my career? No one did, actually. You know, I mean, you just went along and you picked up day to day. You did, and no, you know, I mean, I looked at my dad was in a different business, but my dad was the one, you know, and because if he was a pretty successful business person, you know, and so that I said, if Dad can do his business, let me try if I can do the showbiz.
How has your family reacted to your success in the film business, especially after that initial concern?
They're very proud, you know, and they are, you know, and I'm glad at least I pleased them.
And you did stunts. You've done so many different things as well. You actually did stunt work.
I did. I still do sometimes, you know, but it's hard, you know. You stunt double the kids. It's tough, you know. I don't want to break any bones at the moment. Luckily, I haven't done it. but I don't want to do it. To break my bones, I'm talking about, to do stunts, and it's tough. You got to be fit, and I am pretty fit, mentally and physically.
Is acting a lonely business? Do you find it's one that's lonely? Because everyone thinks it's one of these very sociable businesses.
It's not lonely. I wouldn't say it's a lonely business. Acting is something, that there are too many people chasing too few jobs. It's like it's in every business. Acting is it's Screen Actors Guild has got and AFTRA, Screen Actors Guild and AFTRA has got so many people membership. Combined membership is about 150,000, even more. And out of that, 10% makes the living, and out of that, 5 makes professionally as an actor living. So there your statistics I've given.
Now, you could also be the first to go the other way and go to Bollywood, because I know you've said there's an interest in maybe taking some of what you've learned in Hollywood over to India and going into Bollywood.
I love to. Not only that, I like to go to Bollywood, love to go to Lollywood. And Lollywood, what's the other wood?
There's Nollywood in Nigeria, there's Tollywood in the Tamil film industry.
Thank you for, let's do all the woods.
The Wooden School of Acting.
That's where I originally came from, so that's the reason that interests me to go to all these woods. Maybe I'll get a wooden spoon somewhere.
Now, with the Bollywood sort of films and stuff, when you watch them, can you relate to them? Because you moved away from Kenya, of course, the sort of African culture, of Indian family, but African culture, to Britain and then to America. Can you relate to Bollywood?
Of course I can. That was my upbringing, I was brought up, with an Indian family, the Indian movies. I did see them. I haven't seen them lately, but I always admire people in Bollywood. So Bollywood, if you're looking at me, I'm coming. And also Lollywood.
And you speak Hindi as well?
I do, in patches, and I do, but there's always time to learn. And yes, love to.
If you could create a role for yourself, the ideal role, what would it be?
An ideal role for me would be, I always want to be a villain in James Bond movie. I think I'll give James Bond a good run for his money.
In terms of the other work you do, because you're quite active. I mean, it's not just the film business, like you write, you have interests in creating ideas and programs and so on as well, don't you?
I do actually, I've got this novel that I've taken an option. It's called The Spy Who Was 3 Feet Tall. I love it. I love the title. I think it's going to make a great movie. I'm developing that, and let's see what happens with that. Not only that, I've got this animation things which I want to do, and I'm working at it and in development. I've got horror movies which I want to do, which is already developed some of the scripts, and hopefully one of these days one of these things would come. With
the success of animation, it's been a big thing in the film industry. Do you ever worry that actors' roles will disappear because it's all going to go down that line of animation?
I don't think so. I think the actors would always be there, whether they're physically there or not, because their voices would always be used.
Do you have any hobbies?
Do I have any hobbies? Yes, I read a lot. I love artwork, art. I love history. Love racing, horse racing, which is a king's sport, even though I'm not a king.
Royal blood, though.
Royal blood, yes, but not a king. So.
Let me ask you one thing. Getting into Hollywood, initially getting into those acting roles, did you find that being of Indian origin made any difference? Because for a long time they used to paint up white people to look Indian for Indian roles. Did you ever find being of Indian origin was an issue?
It's never been an issue with me. It's never been, and I haven't, it hasn't been an issue with me, no.
Deep, how would you like to be remembered?
I'd like to be remembered. I would 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 like to as a person, I want to produce. I want to do something, a movie, at least one, at least, and I'm sure I will. And remembered as a good guy. Care about everyone. I do.
Deep, I wish you luck. It was such a pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you, Riz. It was a pleasure talking to you too, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you.